Because we have an initiative that we have been trying to publicize statewide about voter registration and about photo ID, where we want to make sure that every eligible person in Alabama that should be voting has the opportunity to be registered to vote and to receive a qualified government-issued photo ID that they can use when they go to vote. The primary concern that we have now is that we've just about removed the opportunity for people to go and cheat on election day. Because when you go, you have to show that qualified government-issued photo ID. So we know who you are. But the absentee process is still a problem. It's a problem. And it's a problem that I tried to address in the regular session. And we had some people in the legislature that went to the speaker and went to the rules chairman and said, if John Merrill doesn't drop this bill, we're going to stop everything that comes out of there the rest of the way. This was midway through the session. So I met with the speaker and I met with the rules chairman, Matt McCutcheon, who I had served under as a member. I was on the rules committee. And I said, I'm going to stand down on that bill. Because I had 7 other bills to pass. The only bill we had passed so far, and we ended up passing 8, we passed one in the first extraordinary session that we just completed, was the SEC primary bill to move the March 1st deadline. But I went back to those members that I knew had expressed some concern, and I said, I'm going to tell you something. I said, I'm going to start monitoring this more closely than I am right now. And if I see that this absentee process continues to yield problems, I'm bringing this bill back or something similar to it, and if I have to run over you, I'm going to do it. Because I'm not having people lose confidence in the process because you think this is an issue. So we're going to do that. Yes, sir.
Could you explain the true purpose of the absentee ballot process? I think a lot of people in this whole process, for me having conversations, were extremely confused about how the absentee ballot process is supposed to work. Could you just explain?
Sure. There's an application process where somebody applies for the ballot.
Who is that somebody?
Well, any individual that's interested. Somebody that's going to be out of town, somebody that's ill, infirm, somebody that's not capable of going to the polls because of a physical disability that puts them in a compromised position. And then they make application. When they make application, then your absentee election manager, who just came into the room just a few minutes ago, would send the ballot application. She confirms that they meet the requirements. Then she sends them a ballot. Then they're supposed to include their photo ID in the process. There's a process when you complete the application where 2 witnesses are supposed to sign, or a notary is supposed to sign. And when that validates the validity of the ballot, then it goes back. Then on election day, they open the ballots, they count them, they report them, and then that's what happens. And there are some people who think that we need to have mail-in ballots. There are people that think that we need to have early voting. I don't think that we need to have any of that right now. I think we need to use the processes that we have in place to allow people to participate. Anybody that wants to vote right now has a chance to do that. And the point that I was trying to make a few minutes ago is we want to make it easy to vote and hard to cheat. And that's what we're going to continue to do. Carla, do you want to speak to that at all?
I would say that I have a lot of faith and confidence in the process, as long as the processes are followed and the laws are followed. Do I think it can be enhanced through some legislation? Yes, I definitely do, and I am very supportive of the legislation that Secretary Merrill has proposed. But I do think that the process we have is a very, very good one, and it helps anyone who wants to vote to have the ability to vote. And I think that's the key, is that they want to and they have reasons to, and for them to be able to cast their own vote.
Mr. Secretary, when you
Yes, sir.
say you're continuing to look into this matter, what specifically does that mean if your office will do or doing now?
Just that, and not to be flip with you, but we're going to continue to investigate the things that have been presented to us. As new evidence has been introduced or revealed through the other convictions or throughout this process, even if new evidence is introduced or new complaints are issued, then we're going to continue to investigate them. And when the discovery's been completed, we'll turn it over to law enforcement, whether it be ALEA, whether it be the local and Alabama Law Enforcement Agency, whether it be local law enforcement here, we've been involved in the county and the city of Dothan, or whatever it happens to be, and we advance it to the district attorney's office or to the state attorney general's office for full execution. And then that's where we know where we need to go and why we need to go there. And that's